Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Repentance, where today I purchased a new gamepad. I immediately dropped it on the floor upon unpacking it, and we are going to take Lazarus to the cathedral, unless something happens to prevent that, which I've come to accept as there's a possibility. It does occasionally occur that my plans to go to the cathedral are thwarted by some reason or another. But today, I don't know, I'm gonna see where we can take it. I don't really feel like taking angel rooms today. I feel like going to take every devil deal that I can to destroy this character and hopefully get that speed up and all the good stuff, because that is the nice thing about playing as Lazarus. Our item room contains something that isn't immediately going to help us. It'll assist us when we take damage, but perhaps in the long run it ends up being a worthwhile investment. There is a golden key there, and I'm therefore quite tempted to just try and open this right here. And there's a secret room there as well, a golden bomb to aid us in our efforts, which is nice because then I can just place bombs everywhere. I'm rather happy that I decided to unlock the golden bombs, because they do have a, well, they're just very useful, aren't they? It's an infinite amount of bombs for the rest of the floor, and there is so many instances where that ends up being pretty okay, so might as well take full advantage of that. We can look for a super secret room in basement 1 without having to worry about stuff too much. We can take every pill in this super secret room. Hopefully it's gonna work out. There is a Verp pill, so we can retake the last pill that we took. Several Verp? No, I didn't read that right, I guess. Tears up. Speed, well, that's just stat ups all the way. I'm going to keep this Verp for now. Because, well, for one, I don't really want more speed up, but also I wouldn't mind once again trying to get the one makes you larger 5 times in one run. And Verp is very capable of doing that. If we can get the pill placebo as well, then that will definitely make life a lot easier in that regard. I'm also just going to throw some of my infinite bombs at this boss right here to speed up that boss fight and have an overall good time. I have to say that that went quite swimmingly, and I'm not going to check out my shop actually, because I'm just going to assume that there is stuff in there that I don't care for. Plus, I wouldn't mind trying to go for the boss rush if we have a pill pool quite this extensively good. So let's see what we can make happen today. I was kind of hoping that bomb wouldn't quite move that far away. I also just realized that I have an application running that could make a notification sound, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But if it does, my apologies. I mean, surely this run won't take so long that you'll hear notifications play in the background. Plus, when you turn on OBS, the software that I use to record, then oftentimes it does have a tendency to turn off a lot of notifications as well. I'm starting to regret even touching item rooms at this point, because they have been exclusively not great. I'm looking forward to seeing one that's a little bit more in my wheelhouse, but for now, we're just gonna have to make do with what we've got. There is a gray chest there, which is very easily accessible. I think my secret room is almost certainly going to be right here, unless the boss room is to the top left of this room, but it is not. That appears to be a mini boss. I'm tempted to use my meat cube a bit, but it's something that I genuinely haven't really done in Repentance at all, to use the meat cube or other orbitals for damage purposes, partially because I just haven't practiced it, so therefore I'm scared I'm going to take damage from stuff unnecessarily, but also because the damage has been lowered a bit. We're just gonna go for a full golden bomb run. It is a strat, I suppose, to just get golden bombs every single floor and to just keep bombing everything, but it does seem a little bit unlikely to have gotten quite so many of them in such a short period of time. But that's, at this point, I can safely assume that all the nonsense is, well, all the nonsense in the Isaac world has been piled up and saved up entirely for this one save file, for it to all be used and then to disappear from the earth forever. So it's a good thing that I'm recording this for the history books, because otherwise no one would ever believe that such builds could ever happen so consecutively. Let's just bomb that real quick. No super secret room there, surprisingly enough. I definitely expected one to be there. Also, with this amount of coins, I will definitely visit my shop, and I'm just checking out the rest of this floor first. But I'm not sure why, because there's definitely not going to be a secret room in the way of that anyway. There is the fly jar, which is fun. The red candle, though, that's just decent damage all the way through, so I will just take that. Hopefully, we can make great use of that. The flames of the red candle just are so very strong, and the item recharges by itself. There's some 25 coins just hanging out in a pot. That does happen on rare occasions, and I do mean rather rare. It is worth going for in one way, but on the other hand, it is unlikely. Tears down, tears up, tears up. And I'm still carrying this verb just in case we get this thing I want, but starting to lose hope a little bit. We did get multiple tears up at least, so that's kind of nice. Definitely didn't mean to get hit there, but it did increase our tear rate by a little bit. It does mean I have to look out somewhat though, as it can now get rather dicey in terms of devil deals, but the flames don't deal as much damage as I remember them. I figured the flames would hit more often than they currently are hitting, but unfortunately that's not the case. I will just take this actually. Might have been worthwhile. There wasn't really a way I could do that without dying. I was gonna say, it might have been worthwhile to try and lose some health and then take the devil deal, but that's not how that actually works. I'd still need to lose that heart container there, so that's unfortunately just the way it is. But we did get damage up, so that's good. It makes our character a little bit stronger. I should be using the flame more though, because the flame is more or less just going to kill decent enemies like this fairly quickly. That is Ultra Pride. I'm gonna try to kill the small one last for once. I have a faint hope that I can maybe do it with the red candle there, unless they just stand next to each other like this. Please don't run into the flames though. I'm desperately trying not to kill the small one. I don't really remember what this one even can drop, but well, a key I guess, so that's not too terrible. But I didn't really want the red hand, so I figured I might as well just try and avoid that. There is a curse room over there, which is tempting. It does charge very quickly as well, this thing does. Like, look at how quick. If we can get the 9-volt battery, actually, that would be such a good addition to this build. Because it would just... I think it halves the charge time of this item as well, and that's just so good. It's so powerful. Curse room was not really worthwhile, I suppose, but occasionally it is, you know? Could have been a dead cat or something in there, and then I would have been pretty unhappy had I not found that, so live to dream, as they say. Either way, I'm pretty much going to be visiting every single one of my shops to see if I can find a 9-volt battery or something like that to further increase the power of my candle. I'd still like to get the pill placebo as well, because then I can more or less guarantee some great things to happen, and that would be lovely. I don't really need more money, although I could probably put a little bit more in my donation machine during this run as well. So, I don't know. Let's just make a run for it with our candle and hope for the best. Take care of those two at the same time. A lot of these circly ones, unfortunately, but that's fine, I suppose. Just gonna take a little bit longer, but again, I wouldn't mind doing the boss rush like this. With a candle, things are just going to get destroyed anyway, so it'll likely work out. Another great item room. It's at least 5 more bombs, which is not too bad. There is a room entirely filled with pretty flies, so that's unusual. Really only need 2 of them more, but fair enough, I guess, because I think at this point, if I take any more, it's not actually going to do anything anymore. But that is a decent amount of orbitals protecting us from harm, so let's just use a couple more just for fun. Chance to shoot slowing tears doesn't really hurt, might as well take it, I suppose. Also, if I find any more shopkeepers, I can destroy them with my flames, as I very frequently forget. But for once, I decided to remember it again, so that is nice. There is a speed up pill here. I'm gonna just put some coins in the donation machine until I hit 15, I think, and then leave. What excellent timing that was. That actually worked out perfectly. It's the little things that can really help out morale during a run like this, where you're not really getting the best like item room items and your health is like at 3 and you're not actually seeing tinted rocks either, but at least you know you managed to stop donating coins in the donation machine at the exact 15 mark that you intended. And it gives you the sense that maybe things aren't so bad after all. I also think my super secret room is likely over here. I mean likely over here, as I mentioned, of course. An easy mistake to make. Let's just blow that up for the double deal chance. Put one more heart in there. And leave the little heart. The little tear explosions are pretty fun at least. I have 13 bombs, so I could use that against Chubb, but simultaneously the red candle is going to do a decent amount of damage on its own. But bombs against Chubb are great, because Chubb doesn't like smoke. And that's just a really great way to destroy him. Provided you don't accidentally blow yourself up, of course, which is an easy mistake to make. That is the 7 seals, which I don't mind, actually. I'm going to take that. Now that War's explosions... I've said this, I think, every time I've gotten 7 seals, but now that War's explosions just aren't that big anymore, it is just so much better, so much safer. I do need to remember I'm on exactly 1 black heart right now, and hopefully that's exactly 1 and not exactly half of 1, because I'm genuinely not 100% sure, but I'll just have to make do. If I die, then I'm going to turn into a better version of Lazarus, so that is kind of worthwhile. Plus, if it is possible that if there's a bunch of hearts on this floor, that it might just be tempting to put some coins or some hearts into my new form instead of the old one. It took me a second to realize what I was even trying to say, but I know what I'm trying to do while I'm doing it, so hopefully I can eventually convey the information to you as well. My luck is 5. I kind of need to get a luck item or something like that. That would actually really improve this run. I think this probably works, right? Yeah. I'm gonna blow this one up because I don't really want to spend the keys on it. Probably shouldn't have done that. Probably should have just given it some keys. I actually have a pretty decent amount right now. But yeah, I do need to like try at least a little bit, but simultaneously we have 3 orbitals, and that does make tiers a lot less likely to actually hit you. It is more likely than it used to be for sure, but it's still very strong, very defensive capabilities there. That's one makes you larger, which is exactly what I wanted. Because then I can get Stompy over here. There we go. Not sure if I should be going for this when... Did I hit myself with my own flame? That's one I didn't actually expect. Got the store upgrade for getting 600 coins in there. But yeah, I'm not sure if I should be going for Stompy when I don't have health, but I mean, eventually one of these runs is going to die. At least we have a map now, so I kind of appreciate that. And if we end up losing our 1 life at least, it is going to mean that our next heart container that we'll have is a red heart container, so we can more easily heal back up again with the amount of red hearts we've been getting. So that's at least somewhat of a positive, but simultaneously, I don't know how I hit myself. Did I just walk into a fire and think it was my own? Because I'm starting to think that's really the only sensible conclusion to that story. Anyway, we're Stompy, so we can just very easily destroy these tinted rocks right here. If we get 2 more 1 makes you large pills, then we get an achievement as well, so that would be lovely. Our damage is pretty good, so... Oh, well, there we go. Now we are the stronger form of Lazarus. You need to remember not to actually accidentally walk into mushrooms there, because that is death, unfortunately, if they end up doing the poisonous effect, which they so very frequently do, so you need to be at least somewhat aware of that. That is the Dead Sea Scrolls. I think this can technically activate Kamikaze, so I will just leave that alone, but kind of fun that it's there. At least... Oh my god, I'm getting hit by things that I'm not seeing, and that's actually really worrying. At least this time around, I can heal back up. We did lose our Devil Deal chance there, unfortunately, but hopefully we can kind of get back into the groove of things here. Because this is getting a little bit worrying, like this. I mean, I have said many times before, at some point we're gonna gonna have a run that dies. There's no real way around that one. But I would like to avoid it for as long as I can, obviously. And I wasn't really planning on dying today. So let's just find some health. Or just a large quantity of pills. Well, this is progress. There you go. We got huge growth. Now the unfortunate thing is the obvious part where we are just gigantic. So if we end up dying because of that, you know what? Fair enough. But preferably, I would like to actually try and survive, even though I'm clearly doing everything I can to not do that right now. But it will mean that I'm gonna have to like play a little bit better than I currently am. We have a lot of creep dealing damage to him right now, which is helpful. We get a health up from the boss, so that's also pretty good. We could visit our curse room with what we have right now. I'm not really feeling confident that we're gonna make boss rush at the rate that I'm going. I genuinely kind of forgot about it as well, so that doesn't help. I don't think I'm gonna go for the curse room. I think I'm just gonna keep going. You know what? No. I did previously say that I was going to go for boss rush, but I think I've changed my mind entirely. I'd like to try and find some health, so I'm actually just going to blow up some of these rocks right here. I can also just start doing this as well, which is not exactly sensible, but there's a lot of red hearts on this floor, and we're not going to get any more devil deals anyway, so there's no real downside to just being a little silly here and there. We make an interesting sound when we take damage as well, but that's just the game. Oop. Another great mushroom right there. This is one full heart of damage. I'm actually not sure if that's a full heart of damage or not, but either way. I'm gonna blow up just basically all these rocks as well, in case there happens to be like a trapdoor underneath it. We are not at half a heart yet because this door isn't open. I would like to actually try to see what's in here. We are now definitely at half a heart, so I do need to be somewhat careful, but that is a health up. And it does heal as well, so that's actually worthwhile again. So you could call this bad strategy, but I'm going to call this my only chance of survival. Which is taking large quantities of damage by vaguely knowing how much damage stuff does. But we are, I think, at 3 hearts right now, if that's correct. That does seem right. Because I couldn't pick up this red heart. Unless it was scared of me. No, it genuinely, I cannot pick that up. So we are currently at 3 red heart containers. And that just makes life a little bit safer. I'm gonna actually blow up all these mushrooms as well in case there's an item inside it. It's good to like switch up your strategy entirely every time you play the game because that keeps you on edge. That's the strat right there, to just never really play one specific way, because if you just try every way, then eventually you find even better ways that work to play this game, and eventually you find the best one and you win every run. And that's how we arrived here, really. That's how we ended up with a win streak of 1 million, because yeah, at least like the little picture here and the loading screen also looks a little bit different. Like Lazarus's eyes are bleeding everywhere. God, I'm just a big one, aren't I? Let's go this way first. I'm not really expecting to get too many double deals here anymore, unless I can find some soul hearts. But we haven't really been too lucky in the soul heart department. I can at least destroy these skulls, and the skulls can contain something like dry baby, but also black hearts as well, so with some luck we can do some stuff like that. The red candle is more or less dealing with a lot of the scary things, like the flying enemies right there. Having to deal with weird rock formations as well. I can just remove them. No need to worry about anything over there, because I can just step on them and make them leave. Magician, not too bad. It's at least a range up. That's tempting, actually. I do have a lot of things. That's actually not bad either. That allows us to redo this floor after we're done with it, and that means we get an extra item, get an extra boss to fight. We might get an extra devil deal as well, and I will actually just do this. I did get a soul heart there, so that is wonderful. Not sure if I'm going to bother with the 5, because I think I'm getting to the point where I think my build is fine, but it kind of does depend on whether or not we get a devil deal here, and whether or not there's going to be anything good in there, really. Because if there is something good, and I'd like to spend my hearts on it, then I wouldn't mind doing this floor again simply to have a bit of an easier time as well. I'm going to skip that one just for now, because I don't fully trust myself when I'm quite this large. So, not just yet. But if we're lucky, then we might find a flight or something like that, and then I don't need to worry about those spikes anymore. There's a variety of things that can allow us to step over spikes unbothered after all. If we can find something like that, that would be wonderful. That is pretty fly once again. It's kind of unusual to see how small the flies actually are when you're this massive, but fortunately I think my hitbox is more or less the same size. It's just in the middle of me, and you need to kind of be aware of where that is at all times. I don't think it's worth it to go into my curse room here, because I kind of like having a soul heart, but maybe when I'm done with the floor I might go back to this. Need to actually look out for tinted rocks as well, since I can just step on everything, and it does mean I don't have to use bombs, which is obviously pretty great. Actively trying not to step into a blue flame here as well, because you cannot blow those up with my big old bod. But we're making it through. This is a bit of an awkward room. The main difficulty is that I just can't see anything. My body more or less covers everything, including the things that I'm attempting to dodge right now, and that, I mean, obviously that's the big downside of being large. The main upside is stompy and that you can do stuff like this, but even that, I wouldn't say being large is especially worth it most days. In this game, at least. But we're making it work. We've gotten a decent amount of health now. It's a good thing that we were playing as Lazarus as well when I just took 1,000,000 damage all over the place, because otherwise that would have been not so great. But I guess, like, in the back of my mind, usually when I'm playing this character, there's always this thought of, I should just die. I should just die and become better than I was previously, because it is such an upgrade that you get when this character loses all of his health. I mean, the speed upgrade at this point wasn't that necessary anymore, I suppose, but the damage upgrade is, any damage up is just great, really, and we were not exactly struggling in the damage front, but we weren't, like, massively ahead or anything either, so do not mind it. Our luck is at 7, and I have nothing that gives me any benefits for having large quantities of luck, which I'm actually a little annoyed by. If we found like Ghost Pepper, we'd effectively just win the run, because more or less every single shot would just cause flames to come out of us, which is just pretty great. Because we picked up the butt bomb item, we are now going to get that effect every time War's flies explode as well, so that is pretty wonderful, especially when War just decides to hang out here for a while. Obviously it's not going to be all War all the time, but still that does make the item quite a bit better in the long run, due to the amount of full room damages you're doing the entire time, so that is wonderful. Don't know where my secret room or super secret room really could be. It could, I was going to say the secret room could be over here, but that doesn't look like it. The fire is pretty good at dealing with these hearts as well, which makes the room significantly less scary. I'm guessing my super secret room is definitely over here. And 'tis a lot of red hearts. Very good. That is greed, which I'm not. That actually makes the dice room a lot more tempting as well, because I wouldn't mind another shop. It's mostly just for the being able to put coins in my donation machine as well, because I have 70 coins right now, and there's no way I'm going to spend all of them. I'm just a little bit worried that we're going to get super greed or something like that in our next shop, and then I'm just going to have a large quantity of money that I can't do anything with. So really, I'd much rather find at least one extra shop to put coins in my donation machine. So I think after this, I might actually just run back. That is 2 very good things. I think I will actually take both. Money equals power is amazing, and flight is also amazing. My damage just went up by a lot because of that as well. And yeah, because, well, things more or less transpired like I said they could, and that was my reasoning for going into the dice room there, so might as well actually just stick to my word and do that. I can go in here at least, Take 1 half heart less damage. Actually healed up a little bit because of that. Because there was a full soul heart in there. Might as well blow this up since I have 28 bombs right now. I have nothing really to lose on that front. But we're going to do one more depth floor just for fun. We're going to grab this since we have the flight anyway. And at this point, it is becoming a little tempting not to spend money in the shop, simply because money equals power is going to make things that good. We got Curse of the Labyrinth, so ultimately it's a fairly ineffective method to try and not get only one more shop, because XL floor is unfortunately going to guarantee that we are only facing one more shop now. But, you know, what are you going to do about it? Alternatively, we could go to the Beast as well, but I don't care that much about Tainted Lazarus, so I'll do that another time. Right now, I just want to get the Cathedral stuff done. It would just... I have been managing to put that off for a while now, admittedly, and we've gotten some progress on it in interesting ways as well, but it would... Once I have the Polaroid unlocked, I can go anywhere with any character, and at that point it just becomes playing the game, you know? And I can kind of appreciate getting to that point in the game where all I have to think about is just doing runs, because it's just a very relaxing way to play the game. I can very much appreciate it. Deals 5 damage and poison any enemies nearby and sends waves away. I wonder if Mega Bean is better than the Red Fire. I would have to assume the answer to that is no, but at least in a lot of cases, it kind of depends what you're using it for, I suppose, as well, but it doesn't sound that bad. Like, with 1 room charge, like in a big room like that, that's not a 1 room charge. I see. Maybe I misread it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I do prefer the flames. Yeah, we're going back to the thing in a second. I mostly just wanted to see how strong it would be, because I was pretty curious about it, but I'm pretty sure it said 1 room charge, but maybe I just didn't read it right. Maybe I saw the 1 in the top right that indicates quality, and I was like, yeah, that's item charge. That looks like a battery to me, and just sort of accepted it. But I'm afraid cherry picking which number is the one that works for your item charges just doesn't seem to work for some reason. It's very odd. A lot of rocks destroyed there. Very good. Another great room to have flight in, because I can actually get all the things again. Not really getting that much out of it, I suppose, but still, it's just kind of nice, you know? But let's keep moving on. Our damage is getting pretty amazing. 10 damage per shot is, with this tier rate as well, that's pretty decent. If we can get any kind of healing, really, any kind of health, that would be lovely. That's really the main thing I'm missing, or just something like this, I suppose. Just a tinted rock with a heart in there. Familiar, stay closer to you. Is that gonna affect the horse? No. Not a familiar, I suppose. No, well. That is fine. High Priestess. Don't really care. Oop. Yeah, I wouldn't mind looking for my shot. If Mama Mega's in there, that would be just really nice. Just using the old strategy of just saying what I want to get, and then hoping that ends up being true. I could also just take that hole to go down into the womb as well, and then we have 6 minutes to clear all the floors, and then we can still do Hush. That seems like a reasonable strat, but perhaps I'm gonna just put that strategy right there on the back burner for now, as it's not what I feel like doing right now, really. That's really the main thing. Technically, I could maybe do it if I really wanted to. It's just that I just don't want to, you know? I'm just not really feeling it. Surprised I actually managed to hit all the flames there. We'll just do the first boss real quick. I'll try to deal with all the spiders while keeping this one at bay here. With Warp, just spawn 1 fly, the battle will more or less be over, and that's pretty much what happened. That's a range up. Not too terrible. I'd like to basically just find my other item room and shop, and then I can be on my way. I have 82 coins at this point, and I understand that I have money equals power, but in the long run, I'm gonna appreciate having filled up my entire donation machine a lot more than having one run be a little bit easier, I suppose, so I wouldn't mind just making a little bit more progress. Another black heart right there, devil card. The black poop more or less confused everyone there, so that worked out. It also did decent damage to everyone. And I'm just going to continuously destroy every single rock until I get a trapdoor because I'm so stompy. That's a full card right there because it was a marked skull. But at this point, I'm pretty happy with the decisions made. I'm starting to have decent health again. Slowly but surely we're getting done with the depths as well, and we can progress onwards. We're just having a good time with Lazarus, I suppose. Not really sure what his unlock is for fighting Isaac ultimately, but hopefully we're going to find out today. That is the Sackhead, which I do have a hard time saying no to. It can be pretty good in terms of getting consumables. I don't really need keys with this build right here, but... Or, not keys, batteries, that's what I'm trying to say. But if I happen to get a different active item or something like that, then getting more batteries out of the sack is kind of nice. So maybe that'll happen. I don't know what kind of active item I'm looking for, but that's always fun. Plus we can get sacks out of golden poops as well, I guess, and that can give us better things as well, technically speaking. It's just, plus it's just a big bag, isn't it? Like, look at the size of this bag when you're this big. The 9.5 volt or whatever is going to do pretty decent damage, I think, as well. As long as I can stay close to enemies, which is obviously not ideal, due to the fact that I'm not really sure where my hitbox is, but, you know, fair enough. That is exactly what I was looking for. I don't know how long we can do this. Apparently a pretty long time. That's so many coins. That's actually so much progress in one run. Very happy about that. Very happy about that, actually. That is so nice to get out of the way. Only like 300 more coins to go and we'll be done with the donation machine, and that is just so good to get out of the way. It makes all your future runs just so much nicer because you just don't have to worry about putting coins in there anymore. You can bomb it to get some coins out of it instead. It's just so good. But with that, I would say I'm ready to go and fight Mom's Foot. Don't know if there's anything I really missed. There were still 2 rooms I didn't clear, I suppose, but also my shadow right now is about the size of Mom's Foot usually, which is throwing me off. Because I do have a difficult time usually to hear the sound, as I indicated there. I don't know why either, but I just have a difficult time hearing it lately. But fair enough. It worked out. We got another soul heart randomly at the end of that fight, so that is good. And we can just keep on moving. I don't know how many more times we actually need to do the cathedral, but I think I've only done it like twice, so it's definitely still a ways to go. I will just take the shortest route. I'm guessing we are either gonna have a boss room in a weird place, or we're fighting like Fred or something like that. But we shall see, because Fred does have a tendency to be in a bit of a longer room, so that is entirely possible. We'll just... Rune Shard. It's probably something great in rune form, so hopefully everyone is very pleased about that effect right there. Not a secret room there, but I guess there is a pretty decent amount of places where it could be. Doing this with Stompy is the worst, really? So I'm not really happy with how that turned out. I didn't really think that one through, unfortunately. I'm so used to just doing it like that, where you just fly over the top, but then suddenly the rocks were next to me in a way that I didn't expect. At least we got a secret room next to our curse room, so that's kind of good. There's Super Greed right there, which fair enough, I suppose. If we could just get a couple of flies going in that direction, that would be ideal. Or just destroying. We can get a lot of our money back as well, so that is going to give us some damage with money equals power. It would be nice to get a Balls of Steel pill, really, with this verb that I've been carrying around for a year now. But I simply do not know if that's in my pill pool. Oh well. Moving on. Yeah, I'll just go into the big room immediately, stand in the middle of this so the red poops do a lot of the work. Having flight in this room is also just quite nice because you can more or less herd everyone into the red poops on the side and end up dealing a pretty decent amount of damage there. That's a speed up again, which I'm actually getting a little tempted to just verp as well, but no. It was indeed Mr. Fred, which comes to no real surprise, I suppose. Technically, I'm guessing there is the chance of getting the double boss, which does occasionally happen, but that was really the only other thing I could think of. Fred, fortunately, with flight, serves no problem at all, simply because his main kind of nuisance, which is his creep attack, I would say, becomes nothing other than just a bunch of big tears. Kind of surprised we didn't get a double deal there, but we did get a soul heart at the end of that. So ultimately lost 1 soul heart in total on that floor, which is not too terrible. If we can just keep that up, then by the end of this run we'll have 3 hearts remaining, and that is the dream. Not sure if I should try to at least explore the floors a little bit more, I suppose, because there can be like arcade rooms in there as well, and there's definitely good stuff that can come out of exploring floors, but simultaneously, I wouldn't mind this run to be over when I'm this big. I don't like runs where I cannot see what's happening very well, and that's exactly what this is, but simultaneously there is an unlock attached to it, and that is what we got out of the way, so I'm not disappointed by my actions, it's just what comes after it that you have to deal with is just a little bit annoying. There's also like rooms like this where Stompy just gets in the way, because if you step on those rocks, there's a decent chance they're going to explode into tears. So you just end up taking damage instead, so that's not great, obviously. I think War will probably deal with that, yeah. But it is a little dicey for sure. I don't love it. That was a very tiny enemy that I only just barely saw. Having Spectral Tears is quite nice. That's a spike chest right there. Come on, spikes. Where is my hitbox? Genuinely no idea. It is rather difficult to say, but oh god, don't love these enemies very much. This is one of them new fangled enemies that I'm just not that used to yet, and I never really know where to stand. But simultaneously, I guess I could use it as a learning experience about where I'm supposed to move in cases like this, so just playing it calmly is probably the best way to move forward there. Just gonna blow up all these rocks. Maybe there's a super secret room over here as well. I don't really know where else it could be. I've kind of tried the main things I thought it would be, but that's it, I guess. First deal with the eyes, and then the other eyes. Yeah, stuff like this. It's just really awkward. I could probably just throw some bombs as well, and the flames are going to deal with the tears all right, but not like amazingly perfectly or anything. Plus, War is actually once again working pretty hard during this fight, which I can appreciate. That is the Pact. Which I'm not... It's going to give me 2 black hearts, but take 3 soul hearts. I'm not sure if I have Leviathan at this point. I don't. Okay, that's actually kind of unfortunate. Genuinely wasn't sure. Because of the black hood item that I've forgotten the name of, because I don't know, just kind of thought that was part of it for some reason. No real good reason for that, I suppose, but it was like a part of my mind, like maybe. Ooh. Okay, at this point I do need to be at least a little bit careful because my health is a little precarious. If we happen to find a pentagram somewhere on this floor, and then we're gonna get 2 more soul hearts, but I'm gonna say the odds of that are not exactly in my favor right now. Gotta watch out for the little pot enemies as well. There's always these little extra things now to look out for, and you really do need to look out for everything, because you can very easily get caught off guard by any of the new enemies. I was kind of hoping that would be a shortcut as well, but unfortunately not to be. There's some more pots in here with enemies inside it. There is some red chests in there, which are very gettable, so hopefully some soul hearts perhaps. At least no spiders, and that is Guppy's Paw, which... If there's a red heart container on this floor, then it does me more health, but unfortunately on its own, it's not exactly what I'm looking for. It's just kind of hoping the flames would deal with that right there. That's not a great way to lose health. I mean, it's a pretty great way of losing health, but it's just not ideal to my current situation, I suppose. We did find a secret room, at least. Which is not amazing. We can teleport to the shop, which is not happening on this floor, unfortunately, but fun to know that the card exists, I suppose. Really, any room that has the shielding enemies, there is a decent chance I'm going to take damage, and I don't love that. I don't love that at all. But hopefully we can just make the rest of this work. Because it really is, it's mostly just panic as well. There is no real immediate threat to those rooms other than you have to like dodge some enemies first before you start attacking stuff. And it's so easy to be used to just always be attacking whatever comes nearest, and you just have to like change your strategy a little bit for those rooms. And it's tricky. I'm gonna blow up every single blue flame that I can find, because I'd love to have a little bit more health for the Isaac fight. I don't even know what hit me there. I genuinely didn't see anything. So that is frustrating. 2 hearts for the boss. I don't love that at all. Not when I'm like this. Stars card. I'm gonna keep stars. If I take damage... Oh! There was a big tinted rock there. That is actually pretty good. If I get hit twice, then I think I'm just gonna teleport out and try to find more health. But I don't know if that's gonna be smart. But hopefully we can just make this work. As per usual. It is simply the Isaac fight. My flames are not really reaching Isaac, unfortunately, which I'm not loving. Due to the fact that the red candle just isn't very great anymore, really. It has seen better days, I will say, in terms of being able to do more damage and just hit more often, really. I feel like it hits a lot less than it used to. But that is the life of certain very strong items in the end, I suppose. Like Red Candle was almost good enough to just carry you through some builds on its own, I suppose. So I can kind of understand it, but still, it can be a little sad when you have the original high hopes of the item and then something like that happens. But we did make it to the end. I will not be continuing this run any further because, quite frankly, I'm terrified, but it was interesting. We got some weirdly specific things done, and I can appreciate that. So pretty happy about that. Got Lazarus' rags in the basement, and we got one more Isaac kill out of the way. So all in all, could have been worse. Our win streak is 27 somehow. And I'm genuinely curious how far we can take this. But I hope you will join me in finding out together, as next time we play, I will probably just do another run to the cathedral. I would like to just get all of that out of the way and start doing whatever I want. But either way, I hope to see you all there. Bye-bye.